Yo, what up you guys, Magic IQ here, and today we're going over another weekly update. I will show you guys the best reactors to farm for each specific main attribute, and we will also be going over the First Descendant Hotfix 1.07, so stay tuned for the reactors, or if you guys want to jump straight to it, there will be a timestamp in the comment and in the description as always. But without further ado, let's get into these 1.0.7 patch notes. Alrighty guys, before we get into these patch notes, I did want to let you guys know that apparently, even though how this is worded kind of reads that there's a chance it could have been in this update, it obviously is not. So when we go over these patch notes, unfortunately, we'll have to wait a little bit longer to be able to switch sockets per loadout page. So I apologize if I misinformed you about that, but I think they should work a little bit better on their patch notes and learn how to word things in a way that can't be misleading. So one way I think this personally could have been worded a little bit better to make it so that it wouldn't mislead anybody is rest assured, in a future update, we aim to support build diversity in a more user-friendly manner. If you prefer to use the same socket type, yada yada yada. I think that would have made it a lot less misleading for certain people that might have read that wrong like myself, but unfortunately that's not going to be in this update, hopefully in the coming future. Alrighty guys, now if you guys want to go over to the link in the description, it's going to give you guys a link to the Hotfix 1.07 update patch notes, and that's going to be over on Twitter, so make sure you guys go ahead and click that link if you guys want to read everything it has to offer. But I'm personally just going to give you guys a couple of notes while we scroll through here. So first things first, they did nerf Frostwalker. If you guys are actually interested in reading how they nerfed it, it's going to be right here on screen. Feel free to pause it. I personally don't really care for it because the boss gets cleared in 10 seconds anyway, but unfortunately they're trying to make the game easier. I understand if casuals might need that. I didn't think this boss specifically needed a nerf. I think it was the only boss that actually posed a challenge to people that didn't have the damage and actually required some team synergy and some kind of puzzle mechanic versus just being a DPS check. The restart timer inside of all of the infiltrations, operations, and also the void intercept battles seem to be separated into restart with squad and restart solo, and also it's been increased to 60 seconds, so that's nice for everybody. A nice little cool fix there. The second note I've made is that in Echo Swamp Derelict Cover, Void Fragment toxic monsters will now spawn faster. That's the other note I made here. There's not too many different changes that I didn't expect them to make. It's just a lot of bug fixes, so you guys are definitely going to have to go ahead and check out the link in the description, because if I were to go over this, it would be a 20-minute long video of just bug fixes. So it seems like they've also nerfed the Fire God, and that's what I'm saying. They've nerfed every single Void Fusion Reactor boss. It's reduced the health, and they've also increased the ammo drop. So they've nerfed the boss's HP and increased the ammo drops and recovery orbs, so you'll be able to fight that boss hopefully with at least 400 rounds now, because before it would take about 800 to kill that guy. You guys will see a clip here of what he is now. We'll put the level of difficulty at what he is to kill, because that's the first thing I'm actually excited to test for some reason, is how to kill a Void Reactor boss faster, because this guy was by far the hardest boss in the game, and definitely the tankiest. It was kind of funny. I'm just going to keep scrolling through this and reading the rest of my notes here. We have quality of life fixes for infiltration operations, which is pretty nice. So I think it's a couple things with how the percentages work. They got rid of the jump disabled and the run disabled. We also have, you can now gain weapon XP when using unique weapons, which is very nice. We also have that you can acquire Noise Surge from Executioner now, giving people less of a reason to do their new DPS check of a boss Gluttony, which is cool. A new chill character with unique sniper weapon was teased at the bottom of this, so we're going to scroll down there right now. I said it's a unique sniper weapon. Some of my homies think this is a rocket launcher, but I personally see a scope right here. This looks pretty cool. Honestly, I'm super excited to have a new Descendant coming to the game, especially one that is a chill boss Descendant, because as it reads, it says, this Descendant is armed with Cold Fury and ready to strike. What do you think is her greatest strategy? And I'm going to say range. So hopefully you guys can farm some chill reactors this week. Now let's get into the new reactors that we'll be able to farm this week in today's weekly update. Alrighty guys, now first taking a look at non-attribute here. Now off the rip, let's look at the general rounds reactors. At the bottom, we have Dimension and Singular. Those are going to be very nice for both Galay. One, you will use Singular for probably a Gluttony type build, and then Dimension for everything else to use that ult weapon. And then we're maybe going to be able to use that general rounds Dimension reactor for Ajax as well if you're playing more of a defensive role. So that would be kind of nice. And then definitely you're going to want to use Dimension general rounds for Valby. So that's very, very nice there. And then then also lastly to mention that general rounds non-attribute singular reactor is going to be very good for Enzo as well. So if you guys play Enzo, go ahead and pick that up for Enzo. You guys can also use impact round singular for Enzo if you guys are looking to use a devotion to be able to debuff the boss with your team and still do skill power with your 4. Alrighty guys, now taking a look at chill this week, unfortunately it doesn't seem like we're going to have any tech that will be useful. We'll just have the high power rounds one, so that's pretty upsetting, specifically considering the fact that tech is definitely going to be your most used reactor, as cold-bloodedness is probably arguably the best transcendent module for Ultimate Viessa or Viessa in general. Now I do believe Absolute Zero changes everything to singular, so you guys can go ahead and pick up the special rounds mounting for that in order to use Greg's Reverse Fate, but the general rounds fusion, who knows? Our next character is confirmed to be a chill character, so if you guys want to just go ahead and farm some of these reactors anyway, because we don't know what her skills are going to be, whether they're going to be fusion or singular, I would be willing to bet it would actually be towards singular because it is a sniper. So maybe if you guys want to stack into that, figure it out. But let's go ahead and head into the next main attribute. Alrighty guys, now for toxic, we are going to be able to farm 2 general areas this week, which is going to be nice. We're going to be able to farm classified area for impact rounds tech and general rounds tech. Everything else isn't really going to be that useful at the moment in my personal opinion, but for general rounds tech, the area at which you can farm doesn't seem to be too appetizing though. The only thing that is here usually that people do is this non-attribute void fragment for XP, but unfortunately it seems like if you're going for any kind of reactor farm, maybe you can hit up Flood Pain to try and get mental focus too. But besides that, these missions aren't that long and they don't grant that much loot, I don't think. So probably just do the outpost and then double dip your farm and just let all the enemies keep spawning as much as possible and try to put off killing the boss, because I believe this boss actually does have 2 phases, so you will be able to actually go ahead and continue to kill NPCs for as long as you want to until the mission fails. Alrighty guys, for you Lepic users, you could probably do a special rounds tech just to get Greg's Reverse Fate on there. As far as everything else is concerned, I believe Dimension will be used on Blair, so if you guys want to pick out a Greg's Reversed Fate mounting for a Dimension reactor for Blair, that might be kind of nice as well. You can also use the special rounds tech reactor for SMO as well. I believe Kois is almost done cooking up his build on that. Unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be any other options that are very useful this week, so we'll have to look at something next week. As of right now, I believe the best reactors for fire are going to be tech and dimension, so this is all we have as of right now. Alrighty, and finally we do have an electric general rounds mounting for singular, which is going to be a god roll in best in slot mounting in my opinion. You guys can go ahead and get a thunder cage mounting for this and run around when mobbing. That's what I'm going to be farming for this week. This is going to be very nice. Now within the ruins, I would definitely recommend farming the mission Ruins Courtyard. Obviously, if you guys have any questions about what missions you can farm, you guys can go ahead and comment and I'll just let you know what I personally think. I appreciate you guys for tuning in to another weekly update. This has been every reactor and the best reactors to farm this week, as well as a little weekly update with the Hotfix 1.07 patch notes overview. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. It's been Magic IQ and I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.